So what does it take to function in a world where we're surrounded by complex systems? Normally, we become aware of the complexity that surrounds us today when something goes wrong. And no one can possibly understand all the details of complex systems surrounding us today. So what does it take to go beyond the linear thinking that has dominated our thinking for so long? The kind of thinking in which A implies B, B implies C, C implies D, and all the connections are visible and known. Ecology provides a rich number of examples where, of course, a posteriori, we see what went wrong with our thinking. We overhunted sea otters in the Pacific. The sea otters' diet was sea urchins. Sea urchins' diet consisted of kelp. And without otters, the urchins overexploited kelp. They nearly became extinct themselves. And more importantly, the kelp provided a big ecosystem for lots of species. So the consequence of eliminating the sea otters produced a consequence that sort of spread through an entire ecosystem. Another example also, this comes from early 1900s. In Yellowstone, they eliminated gray wolves, the apex predator. So without gray wolves, the population of elks increased. With that, the consumption of tree samplings and grass, the main diet of elks. But over the course of, 70 years, there were less trees. With less trees, the beavers that were in Yellowstone could produce less dams. That even affected the flow of streams and the number of trees. And without trees, the population of birds and so on and so forth. So the most important thing to understand complex systems is to try to see beyond what is normally the obvious things to us. Try to explore what may be behind. So some humility is important in making us aware that our knowledge is incomplete, and also be able to react once the system tells you something about how the system will evolve based on changes that have been made. So there is much more detail about this in the written piece that accompanies this video, so happy reading.